What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Not So Pro Football Talk. I'm excited. I really want to do a tier list today, but I felt like we had to take a break, right? It's a lot of fun. It really is. But it kind of gives me a lot of those fantasy football vibes, and I just really can't wait. So stay tuned because starting next month, we're hitting fantasy football talk. So stay tuned, especially in our Discord. We'll keep you all updated. We have some big news coming out real soon. So if you guys haven't yet joined our Discord, go ahead and do so. It's on our YouTube banner. Okay, hit that little Discord emblem, and you guys will automatically get invited to our Discord. You could talk with us, chat with us, do whatever you like. Give us suggestions of what to talk about. Today, we are talking about running backs. A lot of big news concerning some big name backs. I mean, what's going on, Nestor? Appreciate you being here live with us. Always a pleasure to have you here. Heck yeah, fantasy football. We got some big changes coming to the NSP Fantasy Football League. So if you guys are interested or do not know what that is, like I said, join our Discord. We keep you guys updated. We will keep y'all updated here on this show as well. But the NSP Fantasy Football is a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, you get a chance to challenge us here in this live chat on fantasy football. Test our skills. We'll test yours. It's super fun. It's a fun competitive sport. Esport. I don't know what you call it nowadays, but let's get to it. What's up, Liam? Thank you for being here live with us. Today, we are talking running backs. And probably the biggest name running back right now. Well, actually, I think the biggest name right now is James Robinson, but we will get to that a little later because we have someone with a bigger name, a bigger face, guy who wants out of the Big Apple, Saqoun Barkley. He's out of there. Those are Reed's famous words right now.
He's out of there.
Let's hear it, Reed. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
He's out of there.
He's out of there. You got to say with that New York accent.
Yes, sir.
I'm walking here. Hey, get out of here.
Brooklyn accent.
So, yes, I think the New York Giants are in big trouble. And I've been saying this ever since they gave Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic, whatever you want to call him, that big old contract. I did not think he was worth that much. He is worth a good amount, right? It's a QB scarce league now. I don't know if you call that anymore, but I felt like they should have addressed other positions before they gave him that blockbuster contract, right? So Saqoun Barkley, and there's rumors saying that he's not going to show up to OTAs. He comes out and says, "Hey, I'm not about the money. I'm not looking for to set a new running back contract line. You know, I'm here to play ball, but I know what I deserve." And the Giants, I guess they see otherwise. What are y'all's immediate thoughts on the situation with the New York Giants and Saqoun Barkley?
I think he's totally in the right for wanting a big contract and not wanting to do just a franchise tag year. That's not a very safe contract for a running back. I think he wants to get paid for what he has done and what he thinks he's going to continue to do. He has been very much underpaid for a lot of his career, so I think he is in his right to want to finally get paid. And you have to be pretty upset when you know that Danny Dimes had his best year when Saqoun was playing well. When Saqoun was hurt, when he wasn't on the field a lot, that's when Danny Dimes was making fumbles. He was throwing interceptions, etc. If you want Daniel Jones to play well, you need Saqoun Barkley on the field. You need a running game. He cannot do it by himself. So I think he's totally in his right. But where the running backs, the market stands right now, it's looking pretty bad for him.
It definitely is. And Vince, I think you're still muted. That's why I'm going to step in real quick. And before we get your thoughts in here, I could kind of see both ways, right? Like some people in the office is split 50-50. Some people in the office like, dude, why aren't we signing Saqoun? Look what he's done. Look at this tremendous athlete. And the other half is like, okay, look, what has he done? He's been injured for half his career here in the NFL. So is he really helping us or is he really hurting us? So what do we do? And what does this mean for Daniel Jones, Vincent?
Daniel Jones is a lost puppy right now. I hate to say it. The New York Giants were only good because of Saqoun Barkley. And if Saqoun Barkley wants to leave because they're not going to pay him what he deserves, they want to just franchise tag him, or he doesn't want to play this year because he can't really leave. But it's just a sad thing for Daniel Jones. He's not going to be that quarterback that got the mediocre stats that he was getting, you know, and nobody's impressed with those numbers. We talked about it on the show before. We're not impressed with what Daniel Jones does. And honestly, I think that's why I call him a sad little puppy right now, because he's losing his best bud, who's the big barker over there. basically Saquon Barkley, you know, and
Oh,
that's about it. I mean, that sums up the New York Giants. They don't have the best wide receiver core. They just have Saquon Barkley and a developing O line and Daniel Jones who can play mediocre every game.
I think you're 100% right. I think the biggest person to lose here is not the team itself, right? Not the head coach. I think the head coach is very creative, and I think he's going to do some great things out there in New York. But Daniel Jones, I feel like Saquon Barkley was a huge assistant to his game, right? He's a huge supplement to what he has to offer. He's an impact on that offense because really, when you put Saquon Barkley back there, what does the defense do? Do they stack the box? No, they don't know what to do because he's a dual threat, right? He's also has the ability to catch the ball. So it helps Daniel Jones get out of those sticky situations. And I know everyone's super excited. Hey, AJ, let's remember they just signed Darren Waller. So they have a new star on that offense. We've seen what Darren Waller can do. I think Darren Waller is going to be completely mute on that offense if Saquon Barkley is not there, because then that offense yet again becomes a one-dimensional off. Yes, Vincent has it right there. They're like, okay, who are you going to throw it to? A wide receiver? Slayton? Is he going to stay healthy? What?
Hodgins.
Hodges?
Hmm.
What's going on here? Okay, we haven't talked about a wide receiver from the Giants in I don't know how long. We tried to throw him a couple of bones with Kadarius Toney, Shepard. It's not happening. It's not. Okay, I can't remember the last time they had a tier one caliber wide receiver. And yes, they did get a good tight end. I like Darren Waller, right? I think he could do amazing things, but he is not a let me lead your offense guy. He's I'm a good supplement guy. Saquon Barkley is that star, which we talked about earlier, that they need to pay him because I'm surprised no one else is paying him right now, probably because of injury issues, but they're trying to see what the market is. Um, Liam has an excellent question here. It says, what team is Saquon's best fit?
Hmm, that's a tough one.
It is tough, but it's a lot of fun, right? So you want to look at different teams and how they utilize running backs. So he won't be a great fit in a three-man back running back room, right? So you could scratch off like teams like the Washington Commanders. I wouldn't say too much of the Niners. They do run a lot of running backs, but they utilize them in every which way because they're a running back first team. I'm not going to say they're a run first team. They're a running back first team for what we learned. You can't put them in with the Tennessee Titans, right? Because Tennessee Titans is they're a ground and pound guy, and Saquon can be that guy, but he's much more capable of a lot more things. So he is someone that can actually fit into teams. In my opinion, he's someone that could replace someone like Dalvin Cook, right? Who's also out of the picture. I think he would be a great fit. Help out Kirk Cousins. Help spread out that defense. What do you guys think here?
There's a few teams out there. The Eagles would be a good fit. Um, the Vikings, I think that was a really good suggestion. But with all of this, like I just don't see a team willing to pay him any more than the Giants have already probably put on the table. There's just not a lot of love for running backs right now.
Here's my out of the blue team who I think who are probably not going to get him. You know, they're not in the best salary cap situation. They'd have to trade a lot, and they don't have a lot to trade because they traded last year for a star player. I think the Miami Dolphins would be a really good fit for him. He would take over as the lone back because they really have no star back there who's gonna like have the sole starting position. They're all same type of talented guys, but they're not Saquon Barkley. So I think him moving to Miami would be a good fit for him. Do I see it possibly happening? Probably not, but that's just my like dream team for him because that team is still up and coming and they have a hard division that they need to compete in. So I think moving for Saquon would be a delightful thing for the Miami Dolphins to do.
That would be a beautiful thing to watch, honestly. Running that system that is very similar to what the Niners have. I don't think it's going to happen because they don't want to pay the guy, but maybe they do a swap like with Austin Eckler out there to with the Chargers. That would be like it'll be like a good fit. You just have a younger version of Austin Eckler, but a version that doesn't stay healthy, right? Because Austin Eckler, he's healthy. That guy is like a
Yeah.
horse, bro. He's out there all the time. Saquon, he could get that tough sledded run. But Liam has the next projection right here, who we are going to be talking about next. He says Dalvin Cook to the Dolphins. Just watch. And right now, I mean, that's the hottest topic for Dalvin Cook, right? It's like, let's move into the Dolphins. He's a very similar back to what we are talking about, a dual threat, a guy who could catch the ball and the guy who could make players miss out in the open field. As Dalvin Cook, he is getting up there in age, but he is still very productive on the field. Now, I want to ask the guy who's been watching Dalvin Cook for years, Reed, what are your thoughts on Dalvin Cook being a free agent, still being a free agent, and what are your thoughts about him joining the Miami Dolphins?
I don't put too much thought in him still being a free agent. I think he's taking his time. There's absolutely no rush at this point of the season to hurry up and get a deal done. But I'm very happy he's gone from the Vikings. He's a absolutely great running back. He put multiple highlights on the Packers over his tenure with the Vikings. I'm glad he's gone. I think it was probably a pretty good decision for the Vikings as a team moving forward to move on from him. If they're just trying to go younger, trying to go something else, and just try to save cap, I think it's a wise decision. But I do think it makes their team worse. I think adding him, as far as Miami, adding him to the team, I think that's a great idea for them. I feel like the Miami's trying to compete now. That's where they're at with having Tua still on his rookie deal. They just got Jalen Ramsey. They've got multiple pieces that I think they could potentially go on a run. They had, if everybody can stay healthy on that team, adding a guy like that, veteran, knows his role. If he can stay healthy, he can give them a great playoff push to have a chance at the whole thing.
Nice. Now let's hear from Vince, who doesn't hate the Vikings, right? And who could, I'm not saying that you don't respect Dalvin Cook's game, but I want to hear it from a different. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know you do, but I want to hear it from a different perspective from someone who's not in that division.
Yeah, I wanted to read this comment before I said anything. Gabe, who is a longtime Patriots fan, longtime Tom Brady fan, most likely. That's the better pick there. But he says, I would lose my mind if he went to Miami. And I think you would lose your mind if any star went to any rivalry team in that division. But yeah, getting to Dalvin Cook. This guy is insane. I think, in my opinion, I think he's a better running back than Saqoun Barkley, just because he's not as injury prone as Saqoun Barkley. Now, if Saqoun was healthier, I think Dalvin Cook takes the back seat to Saqoun. But him going to Miami as a big possibility, it would be insane, just because, Dalvin Cook would be stellar there. They have stars there. They have Jalen Waddle. They have Tyreek Hill. Now giving them Dalvin Cook, that'd be just a triple threat. And if Tua's healthy, then that's even better. I just think it's going to make them a top contender for the playoffs, in my opinion. Last year I said they were going to make playoffs. I think they just squeezed. Did they squeeze in, or they were just squeezed out?
They made it in.
Yeah.
Right? They just squeezed in.
Yeah.
And so I think if they get another star like that to hit that backfield and actually keep them going better than Mostert and forget the other running back.
Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Jeff Wilson Jr., yeah, the products of the 49ers. I think if they have one guy who can keep them going the entire time, being that dual threat, and them having the linebackers back up, I think that helps Tua so much, and I think that makes them a better team. So it's going to be exciting to see where he lands.
And I don't know if y'all noticed, but look what I put. I put Dalvin needs a new home to Cook, right? So I'm kind of dropping hints on what I feel like could happen, right? I want to talk about the Denver Broncos. I like to talk about the Denver Broncos because they are missing that piece. Yeah, they got P. Ryan out there who's going to start the first 6 weeks until Williams comes back after that horrible injury. But it is known that when running backs come back from injury just like that, it might linger on for the next year.
Yep.
It just might, right? And how are they going to come back? Are they going to come back how they used to be, or they're going to be stopped? Look at Todd Gurley, right? That happened. I know it's a slightly different situation, but I think Cook fits in that situation as well. He's an older guy. He's out there with Russell Wilson, who's also an older guy who has experience and could definitely help out that offense, get some things going. Because last year, their running back core was a joke. It really was. It was a joke. The whole offense was a joke, but it has potential. And under Sean Payton, I feel like Dalvin Cook could really thrive out there. Look at the quarterback he had out there in New Orleans. He had Alvin Kamara, who is also a dual threat. I think this would be a great fit for him. Someone who's a vet, he doesn't have to coach up. I think I feel like they have the bank to do so as well. They might not have the draft capital, but they got the bank. So I would like to see that happen.
I can
Uh,
definitely see that. Definitely see that.
right? Not bad, not bad, AJ. Pats on back right here. But up next, let's talk about the Patriots. Okay, we got a Patriots fan in the comment section, so let's go ahead and talk about the Patriots and James Robinson. He just didn't cut it, right? Not even being with the team for 3 months, he gets released, and yeah, they saved up on what, like 1.45 mil in their cap
Like
space.
1.6, yeah, something like that.
1.6, but it was reported that he was cut not due to, cap issues. He was cut because he just couldn't stay healthy, right? He dealt with some injuries out there. I believe it was with the New York Jets. He dealt injuries over there, and going to New England, he's still dealing with injuries, which he really wasn't that compliment player that the Patriots thought to be. And everyone was saying that, well, from people who I was talking to, not you guys, but they're like, oh, James Robinson is going to take some of the share away from Ramondre Stevenson. So watch out for that. Just because I still talk very highly about Ramondre for fantasy football. And I said, okay, whoa, let's hold up here. Okay, let's look at the contract that the Patriots offered him. It was literally a backup running back contract. And let's look at his history. He's dealt with some injuries, and even with other teams, he had spurts. He's a quick guy, right? But nothing really special. And Rob Stevenson is a young up and comer who could actually learn with a young team, and that's exactly what happened. James just didn't make the cut, and it's Ramondre Stevenson's team. I don't think anything changes in that offense.
I would probably agree. Let's read Liam though. Liam said people are forgetting how good his rookie year was. Someone has to give him another chance. And yeah, I think James Robinson's rookie year was good, but that was only because they were a kind of one-dimensional team again. That's when Trevor Lawrence was still trying to get his bearings. Jaguars weren't that team yet. They started winning more from that horrible season when they drafted Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson, but uh, it's just hard to replicate that. Sometimes people say, I mean, Reed for sure says this is the sophomore slump, and usually it's with quarterbacks, but sometimes it happens with other players. It's that adaptation to trying to become better as as a running back, wide receiver, quarterback. You just hit that type of boundary where it's like, which way do I want to go? Do I want to develop these new skills, or do I want to keep developing the same skills that I have? And most people try to develop other skills, and then they forget to work on those skills that they had the year before. So people catch on, they stop them, and that's just how it is. But poor James Robinson, I still think he can be a great running back. I agree with Liam. He needs another chance somewhere, and he's going to get one, but it probably won't be as a starter. He's got to work his way back up.
Yep. Definitely agree with that. Gabriel says Patriots desperately need a good backup running back to carry the load that Bill O'Brien likes to run.
Let's talk about Bill O'Brien. Let's talk about the Patriots. Let's talk about Bill Belichick. What do they like? They like the classics, right? They like vets. They like people who are just going to do their job, right? So look at Bill O'Brien. He dealt a lot of time with Rex Burkhead, right? And Rex Burkhead, he's, not nothing special. He's just a guy that gets the job done. Um, One guy who I feel is like that, who is a vet, who is also a free agent, is Leonard Fournette. I think Leonard Fournette would be a great backup for the Patriots, depending on what he's asking for. He's not going to get a lot, as he shouldn't get a lot, but I feel like he will be an excellent running back to help mentor someone like Ramondre Stevenson, who is very young, who has a lot of talent, and could have a great future in the NFL if only Leonard Fournette can realize what his role is, right? Because last year we saw that issue with him and Rashad White out there in Tampa Bay. He didn't want to be, the mentor. He didn't want to be. He was the guy, right? He wanted to be the guy, the running back that they relied on. But honestly, the juice is running out. The juice is running out. He's still a great running back. A lot of respect for him. But you got to realize what role you're in now. And I think that'll be a great fit for him out there in New England, right? But I know he wants to go out there and look for rings. And I'm sorry, Gabriel, but I don't think the Patriots are looking for a ring in the next 2 years. Sorry, not sorry. But That's Leonard Fournette's lifespan in the NFL. I think it's 2 more years.
Yeah, that's at best. That is at best.
Any thoughts
Nice,
on that,
nice, nice.
Vincent?
No, not really. I mean, the Patriots are always running a well-oiled machine. I agree with you. They always have at least one vet, and then they have one pass catcher. I thought James Robinson might have been that pass catcher, but I mean, obviously they're trying to go in a different direction, so we'll see what happens. But Lenny sounds cool, but I also think Lenny sounds cool in a lot of different jerseys. So we'll see where he lands. But I like the Patriots. The Patriots would be a good place for him.
I think it would be too. And some guy that everyone has just seemed to have forgotten, and it's kind of surprising, right? And
Yeah,
let's get to this comment first. Liam says, with Cook gone, is Alexander Madison a legit fantasy option now? You bet your due diggity it is. All right. Alexander Madison is a gem in fantasy right now. Literally top tier. All right. He's been a top tier whenever Cook has dealt with injuries, but unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, right? But Alexander Madison was the number one handcuff for fantasy football for the past 2 to 3 years. So he is going to get a lot of eye candy, but he will be not him. The Vikings will be experimenting with their other running back. I think his first name is Ty. I'm like I
Ty
said,
Johnson.
is it Ty Johnson? Is that what it is?
It's
No,
something Johnson.
It might be Ty Johnson. I could look it up later. But since I've been doing my fantasy research, he is the highest trending running back for fantasy football right now, believe it or not. But the real question is, what are the Vikings going to do? Right? I feel personally they have an experienced team, right? Not an old team, but not a young team either. So let's get with a guy who knows our system and who runs the ball very well, and that's Alexander Madison. So as long as he stays healthy, I think Alexander Madison is an absolute gem for fantasy football. And we will be talking about that. And a little bit of sneak peek of the big news we got coming up is every year, if y'all don't know, because I know we're still a small channel, we release a fantasy football cheat guide, right? So not just for your draft, but we keep updated week to week with fantasy football talk and also who to pick up and who to look out for. Vince, what'd you find?
oh, nothing. I was
Oh,
just looking. No,
I
I was just
misread that.
looking at some of the running back list over here, just seeing who's available at the bottom of the barrel.
But yeah, Alexander Madison is someone to keep an eye on. But I do believe he is going third, fourth round as of right now in draft stats.
It's pretty
Uh,
good.
Dwayne McBride is the rookie. Uh,
Mhm.
McBride, there's
Wayne
another McBride in the
McBride.
league because I know there's a tight end,
There's a
McBride.
tight end, yeah.
Yeah, he was a rookie last year, if I'm not mistaken, and he had a lot of potential in the league as well. But moving on to a name that I am very surprised is kind of silent right now is Ezekiel Elliott. What is going on with Zeke? Is someone going to pick him up? I don't think anyone wants to pay him because everyone knows that the type of quarterback that he is, he found his niche as a short down back, third and short down back, which is kind of ridiculous to me. If you're a running back, you should be able to get uh, at least 2 yards. I mean, that's the goal, right? 2 to 3 yards every
Yeah.
run. But for Zeke to find that niche of his and still want to get paid as one of the highest running backs in the league, that's just not going to cut it, buddy. I don't care what workouts you put on tape. I could go out in my backyard and put a really good tape of workouts that I'm doing and make me look fantastic. But in
Do
reality,
it.
I won't be able to do an NFL game from my life.
We should do a little a video of all of us doing some workouts.
Like a
Well,
workout combine.
yeah.
If you guys want to see that, if you guys want to see each of us do a little workout combine that we put together, make sure you hit that like button. If we get, I don't know, let's do something small. If we get 8 likes, right, which is pretty far from us, right? Since we're a small channel, if we get 8 likes, we'll go ahead and do it. But so make sure you send this to your
Yeah.
friends, and also send us to your friends. We are, was it 7 subscribers away from hitting 400 subs on YouTube. So once we hit 400 subs on YouTube, we're going to be giving away an autographed jersey of a current star right now. It could be a rookie. It could be someone like, I don't know. Give me someone. Lenny Fournette. It could be Leonard Fournette that we give away, right? So make sure you guys send this podcast, get us some subscribers. I know that kind of sounds selfish here, but we want to get back to y'all. Okay, we're giving this as long as
Yeah.
you're subscribed. We're giving this away 100% free. We even pay for shipping, so it's totally free for y'all. But Ezekiel Elliott, what's y'all's thoughts here? What's your prediction?
He'll land up somewhere. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. I would imagine it would be right before actual training camp, around like July, middle of July, I think that is. So I think that's around when he's gonna get signed, or even later, right before the season. If that team, if their running back goes down in practice, the preseason game, he'll be there to slide into a team. I think he's still trying to look for big dollars, be a top running back, or get a decent sized package as a running back that not a single team out there is going to be willing to pay him. Not a single team. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he has a up year from last year. They're still not going to pay him that. I don't see him landing anywhere anytime soon. And it's going to be a vet min.
Y'all know
I
my
honestly,
prediction. Oh, go ahead.
Go. I want to hear your prediction first because I have one too.
Okay, my prediction is that Reed is right. No one wants him. No one wants to pay him, and he's going to go crawling back to Jerry Jones, and he's going to take a huge pay cut, but he's going to be the star that returns, right? And he's going to come out with this whole story like, I just couldn't leave Dallas. It was part of my heart, and I'm willing to take a pay cut for the better of the team. I can definitely see that happening.
The Dallas fans will eat that up.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, we're going to the bowl, baby. He's looking for some rings. This all year.
All about marketing there in Dallas, bro. But my prediction for Ezekiel Elliott, I also agree with Reed up here. I think that he's not going to get what he wants to get paid. If he does, that team is a poverty franchise because they're grasping at straws to try to get anybody to get sales, to try to win games with those 2 yards that he gets every carry. But in my opinion, I think after everything happens, after minicamp is done, we're getting into preseason. I think he might go to the Los Angeles Rams. I think he could fall there because the LA Rams need anything and everything to get ticket sales because they know they're not going to be a winning team. Cooper Kupp, we don't know how he's going to come back and play. They're honestly, they are a poverty franchise, but I don't think they pay Zeke the money that Zeke wants. I think they pay him somewhere around the vet min, just like Reed was saying. Someone's going to get him, and I think one of those bottom of the barrel teams needs someone to reinvigorate the team. Hey, we got this star. Let's see what we can do. We got Cooper Kupp, Ezekiel Elliott. We got Matthew Stafford. Let's go out there. We have a top tier offense. But we'll see. I mean, that's just my prediction. I see him going to a team like that.
I definitely will say I do think whatever team he lands on, I do think he will help. He got multiple touchdowns for the Cowboys last year. Yeah, could whatever his name, Tony Pollard, could he have got him also? Probably, but he's not like completely gone. I still think he has some athleticism in him. He's just not going to be your number one back, first down, second down, third down like he used to be when in those like first 2 years for him. That's not who he is anymore. If you use him in packages, he will still be helpful. Just don't give him the money. Do not give in to whatever he's asking for.
And it's so weird because he's not even like too old, right? Like he should be at his prime right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. I lost track. If y'all want to watch something funny, this is what I was gonna say. If y'all want to watch something funny, look up on YouTube Ezekiel Elliott's last play as a Cowboy. Okay, that is hilarious.
Oh, was it the one where he got like thrown down because they were trying to run that trick play?
He was the center.
He was the center.
As soon as he hiked the ball, boom! He got dropped. Oh, it was so funny. It was hilarious. It was the best play called in history. It was awesome. But no, Cowboys fans don't want to say that, oh, the play calling is bad, the clock management is bad, Dak Prescott's not smart. They don't want to put the blame on that. It's just it's the ref's fault. It's the ref's fault.
It's always the refs. Come on, AJ.
Who runs a play like that? Oh my god, I don't even do that in Madden. Come on now. Liam says, I feel like he could have an effect in Houston, maybe help Pierce grow. I don't think Pierce is going to be the guy in Houston much longer. I really don't. I like the kid, right? But when you really look at him, he did a lot for Houston. I'm always going to appreciate that. I'm not a Houston fan, but that guy showed a lot of heart. But I think he's a backup running back in this league. I think that's what he is, and he could learn a lot from Zeke. He can, right? But they're two totally different running backs, both of them. But I think that would also help stir up some commotion and sell some tickets as far as Ezekiel Elliott. Oh, Ezekiel Elliott leaves the Cowboys but stays in Texas. Houston is the place to be. Whatever. But that's really all we have. There's another guy that we could talk about, but I really don't like talking about him just because he's a thug. That's Kareem Hunt. He's out there. He's a free agent. I don't want to talk about him. But what other running backs who do have a home are starting up the market right now? What do y'all think?
What was the question? Sorry, I missed it.
Other running backs that have a home that are stirring up the market.
Stirring up the market. So the running backs that are on teams, that's what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
Reed?
I was confused by your question.
I'm setting you up.
You did a bad job, all right?
That was not a bad job. You literally just put it in the chat.
I did not put that in the chat.
You put it... Okay, just talk, Reed.
All right. So other running backs out there, the whole market, there's Eckler. Thank you, Liam. Yes, that's one of the guys I was going to talk about with the question I set AJ up for, but okay. There's Eckler. Eckler did ask for a pay raise. Chargers said no. I think they offered him basically like a $1.25 million more, which is kind of a slap in the face for everything that he did and what he's currently getting paid. They said, yeah, he can go seek a trade. Nobody wanted him. Can you imagine that? Austin Eckler. Nobody really wanted him.
Honestly, I think it's because teams are already set up. I think the Chargers screwed him as far as letting him go seek out a trade after free agency, after big names were signed. So they knew what they're doing, right? And I just want to put this out there. See, Liam knew what I was talking about. Liam knew.
Yeah, but I was going to talk about a lot of other things. Whatever.
But that is crazy. But I was going to say that if the Niners wouldn't have picked up CMC, I think that would have been their top priority. Someone like Austin Eckler, very similar play style, is perfect for what the Niners are looking for, or what teams like the Niners who utilize their backs in multiple ways.
For sure. Other guys other than Eckler, there's Josh Jacobs. He has still not signed his free agency or franchise tag. So he is technically not on the Raiders right now, which is crazy. He's kind of in the same boat as Saqoun Barkley. Both of them have not signed the franchise tags because they are looking for those big contracts after their big years. Josh Jacobs was statistically the best running back last year. Saqoun was the whole reason why the Giants even made to the playoffs, even won that playoff game. It was Saqoun. Both of these guys, they're wanting bigger contracts. They want long-term, big money, and they're not getting it. Other guys like Aaron Jones, he took a pay cut earlier this year, $5 million, just because he knew what the market was. He understood. He knew that the Packers were going to cut him if they didn't take that pay cut, and then he was going to earn less money trying to go to another team. He decided to take a pay cut and overall make more money, which is a very smart move from him as far as financially. The running back market out there right now is just not caring about these old veterans and rather go after these younger guys. We saw a bunch of rookies last year really pop off with like Breece Hall, Ajair, there's Stevenson. There's I know there
Walker.
Yes, Walker. The Niners had a small running back rookie that scored a touchdown, a few yards here and there. There's every single year there's these younger guys coming in and doing basically exactly what these older guys are doing with about 1/10 of the contract money that the other guys are paying. And we've kind of been seeing this get set up for the past 4 or 5 years, and now it's finally all hitting home. And I'm very interested to see what happens while the quarterbacks are every single year they're resetting the market. The defensive ends, edge rushers. Nick Bosa is about to reset the market probably very soon. Yeah, AJ knows all about that. He's going to reset that market bad.
I love the guy, but god damn,
It's gonna be
it's
bad.
gonna be real bad. Oh,
wide
dude,
re-
we better
wide
win a damn ball, man. That's what I'm saying.
the wide receiver market just got heavily reset the year prior to this one. All of these positions are seeing more and more people are like saying the value is higher and higher. Running backs is just getting lower and lower. It's going to be very interesting to see the next few years what happens.
It's hard because the running back position, they have the shortest lifespan in the NFL. And there's coaches out there, there's coaches out there like Pete Carroll, like Shanahan, like Belichick, who go out there and they're like, hey, give me whoever, right? I'll take them, and we're gonna do something out of nothing. Before CMC, can anyone tell me who the running backs for the Niners were? They're 6th-round picks, undrafted free agents. They're nobodies.
Frank Gore.
I said, okay, let's not get into Frank Gore. I said Shanahan.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
So look at Raheem the Dream Mostert, right? Raheem has been in the league before he went to the Niners. He was in the league for, I think, 5 years, and he was nothing. He was done. Shanahan revived his career, sent him off to Miami, and look at what he did in Miami. And not too much, but you could just bring out whatever. I don't agree with it, right? You could bring out whatever guy who could run the ball, and you could make something out of him. That's why these rookies are so heavily sought out, and they usually go in the late round. I'm not talking about Bijan Robinson before I get roasted there because he's a generational talent, but you could plug and play these running backs if the system works. Now, when it comes to Josh Jacobs, I think it could be a little different, right? I don't think he wants to sign that franchise tag. Well, yeah, one, because he wants a contract, but two, does he really want to stay in Las Vegas? That is just excuse my language, but a shithole. Oh my goodness.
Oh god. Yeah, speaking of them, I'm looking at the values of the contracts that are signed by these starting running backs for these teams that they're signed already, CMC makes a buttload of money. Oh my goodness. Gee, I don't know how Age is going to do it next year with Nick Bosa signing too, because I'm looking at the cap hit, and that's a lot. But anyways, there's not that many running backs getting paid over $7 million a year. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them, and 3 of those guys are on the franchise tag. So if they weren't on the franchise tag, they probably wouldn't even be getting paid the $10 million that they're obligated to get if they signed that franchise tag. So I mean, if we're really talking, it's CMC, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb. Those guys set the bar for running backs a long time ago. But a lot of these other running backs that don't have the same effect as those guys, nobody wants to pay them anymore. And I think it's so crazy. It does such a big disservice because it's one of the hardest ground and pound positions beside offensive line. These guys are getting hit. Yes, I got you, AJ. I did that just for you. These guys are getting hit by these big boys all the time. They're in the trenches besides offensive line. These guys are the ones trying to cut and run away from these big boys, especially people like Nick Bosa, who are fast as heck too. But in my opinion, I'm looking at all the starting running backs right now for each team, and there's a lot of teams that need running backs that I didn't even think of. The Ravens need a running back.
They got JK. They're fine.
Yeah, they got JK, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill. But, those guys are all injury prone. And, it's hard to tell who's going to need people. I like the Falcons room, Bijan Robinson, Cordell Patterson. The one that I don't like is the Bills. Ugh. I hate the way they use their running backs. I feel so bad for Nyheim Hines. I don't think he's going to be utilized that well. But yeah, there's not many people getting paid above $7 million. That $7 million mark is James Conner, and everybody below it, there's a lot of people better than James Conner, in my opinion, that should be getting paid more. Sad. That's all I'll say. Sad.
It's a crazy league.
It is a crazy league. And y'all want to hear something crazier?
What?
I told this to Reed last night when we're, crafting of the minds.
Okay.
Okay. People like Derrick Henry are averaging going 32 overall in fantasy football. And I was like, at first, I was like, there's no way, right? There's no way. And I started doing some more research. I did a mock draft, right? And I did a quick little, top 20 running backs. And he didn't make the list. I was so surprised. He did not make the list. I was like, wow, this is insane. But this is the new generation, man. It's coming in. You can't just be a ground and pound back. You got to be able to
You
do
gotta be
multiple things.
versatile. Yeah.
Exactly. You got to have a long lifespan like CMC. CMC is going to play until he's like 60 with the Niners.
The
Not
guy
on- not
made
on
of
that price
glass?
tag.
What?
Hey, last year he played healthy, okay? He played
Yes,
healthy.
he did. He did,
Okay.
but
It's because
how much longer?
the Niners treat him right, okay? The
Oh,
Niners
that's
treat him right.
why.
Oh yeah,
That's
they treat him
why.
right.
They
Yeah.
did. I guess
I
they
don't
didn't treat their
know.
other running backs that got hurt right then.
Hey.
Hey,
I'm
those
just
dollar
saying.
bills, man, they help. That cryotherapy,
No, but the way that guy
Jeez.
works out is insane. If you guys haven't yet, I do
Yeah.
encourage y'all to see his workout videos. Absolutely insane. That guy is not human. But wow, there's a lot of talk about running backs. And if you guys want to continue talking about running backs, let us know in the comment section. We could do a running back tier list next week if y'all want.
Again?
So we did a running back tier list?
Yeah, we did quarterbacks, wide receivers,
Oh, we
running
did. We
backs.
did do a running back tier
Oh
list.
yeah.
I just want to do more tier lists, man. I like tier
I
lists.
want to do a defensive one.
Tight ends.
No one likes tight
ends.
ends.
Hey, it's like the top three, and then after that,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be
Honestly,
Kittle,
it is.
Kelsey, and
and then Tanyan.
Nice
That was
one,
a good
Reed.
one, Reed.
Yeah, nice
That
one,
was a
nice
good
one.
For the jokes, for the jokes.
But cool. I'm good. Y'all good over here?
We good.
Liam has a fantasy
Oh,
question for you.
See,
Yes, you
Liam
twice.
likes tight ends.
He asked me twice.
Yeah, he asked you twice because we forgot about it the first time.
Oh, did he? Oh my gosh, I am
We
so
apologize,
sorry.
Liam.
What did
AJ
I-
was being rude.
When did he ask the first time?
He asked it a little while ago. Yeah, it's like 3 comments up from the last.
It's when you butchered the pass off, AJ.
I don't. Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay. It says, speaking of the Texans, what are the fantasy thoughts on Dalton Schultz? You know, Dalton Schultz, in my opinion, and you could record this if you want, I think he is going to be right below middle of the pack when it comes to tight ends. Hell yeah, Liam. Hell yeah, brother. We love you too, dude. We love that you're here, honestly. That's why we're so excited for fantasy football, because we have a lot. We might be a football show, but we go hard in the paint when it comes to fantasy football.
Yeah. It's
Or
fun.
should we say we go hard in the red zone? Yeah. All right. But honestly, yeah, Dalton Schultz, I think he's going to be right below middle of the pack when it comes to tight ends. There's a lot of upcoming tight ends, some rookies that are out there who are going to make a big splash. And there's a lot of tight ends that have that question mark, right? Like we talked about earlier, Darren Waller. Where does he land in tight ends when it comes to the Giants? And you got to take everything in perspective, such as Saqoun Barkley. Is he going to be with if he's with the team, Darren Waller is going to shine. He's going to shine, right? Or what about I forgot I was gonna go with something. The Miami's old tight end. That's gonna be a big question mark too. I get lost with names sometimes.
Miami. Oh, Gasecki.
Gasecki. Yeah. What's gonna happen with him? But yeah,
I like
do
it. Reed. You're good.
But yeah, so honestly, I'm really starting to contemplate whether I should start fantasy towards the end of this month or just wait to July, just because there's going to be a lot happening coming July, fantasy wise. There's just a lot, and I don't know if I could cram it all in time. So I'm trying to enjoy the time I have now, because once fantasy football comes, these guys know
He goes hard.
I go hard in the red zone, baby. That's what we do. We go for it on 4th downs. You got to risk it for the biscuit. I don't know what anymore. But okay. But yeah, super excited. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and join our Discord, where we'll keep you guys updated with our information about fantasy football. I think Reed's going to put it on there. I think that's what he's doing. I read that correctly. But it's going to be so fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to have multiple leagues this year. So you can have multiple chances of winning. And we go hard in the
Always
red
hard.
zone. Yeah. But appreciate you all being here live with us. I had a good time. I hope these guys had a good time here too. So up until next time, you guys, whenever that might be, I hope you guys have a great day. Have a phenomenal life. Go talk to your family. Tell them you love them. We love you. You love us. We love football. And God bless America. Keep on grinding, baby.